Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for the Bad Batch, or I should say Star Wars The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 9, The Crossing. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you feel lucky or feel like gambling, you hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages there as well. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you've not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. Giving you enough time to pause whatever you need to do. All right. That's enough time. Honestly, it's not going to really spoil that much. We're back to the slow episodes again. Echo, of course, left, at the end of the last episode. And Omega is dealing with all of that, as is. So what's left of the group here goes on another mission for Sid. Sid has bought a mine, so they go to some random planet to mine some ipsium. Might as well be called unobtainium, whatever. And as they are, going out to mine this stuff, Wrecker is on watch and can't see the ship because the ship is parked around a corner basically, and the ship gets stolen. So they're stranded on this planet with a very volatile substance, and they also have a storm coming in, all this kind of stuff, and yeah, basically it's shit. They have to go 40 clicks to get to the nearest town, nearest spaceport, in order to get the hell off this rock. So of course they're arguing amongst themselves as well. Yeah, exactly. Unobtainium, cameronium, whatever it is. So of course they end up losing, the ipsium as the storm comes in. They end up taking refuge in a cave, and as they are in the cave, the ipsium hits the cave wall and explodes, causing a cave in, trapping them inside. As they're trying to dig their way out, Omega is still, miffed that Echo has left them. And she's upset, really, is what it is, that things are changing. And Tech just pretty much says, matter of factly, shit happens, get over it, kind of thing. And she gets pissed at him and walks away. And she ends up finding a huge vein of ipsium later on, further down the cave, or further down the mine that they're in, and they're going to use that. She's thinking, if we get this, we can use this to blow the mine entrance open and blah blah. So Tech ends up, going after her. Same idea, and of course Omega falls down this shaft, and Tech follows her. They wind up on a water ride and end up in this cavern down below, which actually has a glint of an exit. So Hunter and Wrecker, of course, follow. They bring all their stuff with them after little radio calls and all that stuff, and they're getting out at this point. So Tech and Omega, have a little heart-to-heart talk, and Tech's like, I don't process stuff like other people do. He goes, maybe it's internal. He goes, I still feel it. He goes, especially when people leave, when things change, all that kind of stuff. He goes, but stuff changes. He goes, that is the nature of life. And he's trying to tell her, yes, it does get to me on some stuff, but he goes, I really don't dwell on it because that is being a soldier, kind of thing. And she goes, yeah, but we're also family, and all this kind of stuff. So what we're getting at here is, um, well, let me finish off the episode here. So they end up finding the spaceport, which is deserted. Tech is able to use the array at least to call Sid, and Sid's pretty much like, fuck you, you guys lost your own ship. Why should I bother helping you? And, Tech is like, we helped you out here. We helped you out here. And she's like, all right, give me a couple of days. And then cuts the line. At this point, they should start realizing Sid is not, helping them. Sid is not looking out for their best interests. Why they are still with Sid, no one knows. And honestly, this is a spinning of wheels. They need to move away from Sid and Sid's business, because Sid's business is actually exploiting people like the Bad Batch. And they need to move away from all of this. If they were smart, they would just mine that Ipsium, sell it themselves, get the money, and get the fuck away from Sid. But I don't know. This is where, yeah, and the way this episode just kind of leaves off, it leaves off with them stranded on this planet, waiting for Sid to arrive and rescue them. It's another two-parter, is really what it is, because the next episode is called The Retrieval. And yeah, it's just, I mean, Echo had the right idea by bailing, jumping ship here, and going off with Rex. And Crosshair, even though he joined the Empire, same thing. I mean, he jumped ship and knew that they were just, I don't know, they were spinning their wheels, especially now after Palpatine has sullied all of the clones in mass by saying that they are unstable and they're not faithful, they're not loyal. Which, of course, we end up seeing the aftermath of this in shows like Obi-Wan. So Obi-Wan, even though it's not the greatest series, you do see at one point one of the stormtroopers panhandling, out in the street. One of the clone troopers actually panhandling, and he's down on his luck. And again, because there's no pension for the clones, they're not treated as citizens. They're not even treated as people, really. And so all they're reduced to is what they can get for themselves, essentially, what either through charity or basically mercenary work at that point. So it's pretty fucked up. And so their choices are limited. And this group needs to actually start seeing that for what it is. And also, maybe even joining the resistance at this point, such as it is. I mean, they know the resistance is out there. They've been working for it a little bit with Bail Organa. So why not? And yes, you're going to be saying, well, this is an animated series. It's supposed to be more lighthearted. Fuck that. It really isn't. This is actually a continuation of the Clone Wars, is really what it is. It's a continuation of Rebels. It's Dave Filoni is behind this, and just because it's animated doesn't mean it's for kids all the time. Yes, it is kind of geared towards kids, but it's also geared towards adults as well. It's another medium for storytelling. And right now, it's just boring storytelling because we keep spinning the fucking wheels on this instead of getting it moving along and telling Sid to go fuck herself and go off and do what they need to be doing at this point, which is, join the rebellion, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's where we're at on all of this. So, um, yeah, I mean, at this point, Hunter has to have seen the writing on the fucking wall at this point, especially with Sid just kind of blowing them off when he says, we don't have 3 days worth of food left. And she just kind of cuts him off and it's like, okay, whatever. So, yeah, I'm not really happy about this episode. I thought we were going in a good direction when we were in episode 3, the Crosshair episode, and then also even 7 and 8, the Clone Conspiracy and Truth and Consequences, was actually decent episodes. But now we're back to this fucking wheel spinning again, and I'm kind of tired of it. Really, it needs to. These episodes, you think by now, these are some of the same people that have been working on the Clone Wars and Rebels and all this stuff that are behind the scenes. They know what works, they know what doesn't. This does not work. These kind of episodes, you need to tighten this shit up a bit more and make this season pop a little bit more. I mean, unless you already know that the season's not getting, unless the series is not going to get renewed, which is what it's feeling like now at this point. That um Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't feel like it's gonna get renewed because of how bland it is. I mean, Disney isn't really promoting this, series. They're not promoting it in their parks either. I mean, so, there's no merchandising for it really. There's very little merchandising, I should say. Last time I was at Disneyland, there was nothing, and I mean, I was looking for it. And I think I relayed this too. The first season, the only merchandising was at Tomorrowland in there's a Star Wars store that's there. There was one table. That was it. I have a Bad Batch hat. I'm actually pointing at it because I can see it from where I'm at. There were some mugs and there were some figures and a couple of shirts. That was it. And it was all on one table. That's all. So yes, they have the figures. I think they might still be selling mugs for the Bad Batch and maybe some pins, and that's all. There's no other merchandising out there for this, which means I don't think that this series is going to last any longer than the second season. I'd be surprised if it gets a third season. Not like, oh my God, I really can't believe it. I mean, if it gets a third season, then yeah, there's a realm of possibility on that, but I'd be very surprised if it gets a third season at this point. Unless they're gonna really change things up. I mean, D. Bradley Baker, had said in an interview, "Buckle up, things are gonna go really fast now," is what he said after the Truth and Consequences episode, and this episode is not, what I had in mind, unless he has a different perspective on what buckling up means, because this one it wasn't it. It really wasn't. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on this. So, with that said, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Tomorrow I'm gonna be off. I'm gonna go see Quantum Mania tomorrow. Yes, I know I've seen the reviews out there and all that stuff, and honestly, I really don't care. Um, you know, a lot of the reviewers are people who don't read comics, and so fuck them. Friday, I'm gonna be doing Is It Worth My Time? It's going to be Lockwood and Company on Netflix. I'll be doing that. Saturday and Sunday I'll be off. Monday will be The Last of Us. Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around it'll be Quantum Mania. Um, Wednesday will be The Bad Batch. And there we go. We come back around full circle. Penn says I have not watched the reviews, and I think it's going to be a decent movie. All I've seen is titles of reviews, Penn, and everyone says that it's boring, is what they've been saying. And my guess is that it probably it's probably going to deal with time travel, is what's going to happen, which obviously it's King. So time travel, yes, and there's going to be a bigger picture to it, which a lot of people don't have the attention span to for a plot. That's really what it gets down to. Is a lot of reviewers just don't have the attention span to follow a fucking plot. If it's a little more complicated than A to B, so that's where I'm getting at on that. I'll find out tomorrow night. So I don't even know what the runtime is. I think the runtime is over 2 hours on that, if I'm not mistaken. Here, I'm actually on IMDb anyway. So let's see. Quantum Mania. There we go. As I'm looking this up right now, and I am not seeing what the runtime. Oh, there we go. 2 hours and 5 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty decent. 2 hours and 5 minutes for a Marvel movie, and I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I like the Kings. The King stories in the comics are really confusing sometimes. I mean, they really are, and you can get lost in some of them because they span all of time, and they're all taking place supposedly all at the same time, kind of thing. No pun intended. He is a timeless being. That is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be confusing. It is supposed to be, a little obfuscated, if you will. So, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this. And with Ant-Man having, being the first one to really kind of deal with Kang, it's going to be really interesting. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the rest of the night. Thank you to, well, Penn, who joined me tonight in the chat. I know there's some lurkers out there too. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages as well. All right. With that said, thank you, everyone. I will see you again on Friday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in an episode that just really spins its fucking wheels and gets nowhere with the plot. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again Friday. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. It doesn't work without the boosters. And stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks. Thanks, Penn. I will see you on Friday. Have a good rest of your night. Good night, everyone.